Alrighty. We should be live here on YouTube. We're a bit early today. The estimated time was basically just whenever I got off of work, and that is right now. So today we've got some summer league action today, and that's what we will be watching. For this stream, I'm thinking maybe like 2 or 3 games is kind of what my thought process is here. Kind of just depends on how long they take for that. But Albert Ellis, his first game. One thing I wanted to do here to kick off the stream as we wait for maybe anybody who wants to join in is, I know we've looked at the grades, but we didn't look at like the actual ratings. How's it going? Happy to have you, ALX. So I wanted to take a look at what his ratings are, because grids give you an idea, but with ratings, you know kind of exactly what a guy is at. To start, he's got 93 driving layups, so he's going to be able to hit some tough shots on the interior. Again, that 6'2" size might nullify a little bit of that rating, but hopefully he'll be able to convert a lot of those. 87 from the mid-range, 85 from 3. I will maybe not hide, but I can move my webcam just for this part up here temporarily. Not gonna be a post player. Shot IQ is pretty solid. Ball handle is 95. He's got a tight handle on him. His pass IQ is pretty good. Pass vision is really good. The only thing with his passing is just his tendency for passing is very high. His actual pass ratings are really good. Maybe something that's, as you know, his career goes along, he can get better and better dished open man tendency. 81 on the perimeter defense, 70 on the steal, 50s on the rebounding. 81 speed. So not the fastest guy, not the tallest guy. He does have a really good vertical at 91. But as I was kind of saying, with the prospect profile with this guy, it's not going to be his athleticism that's going to get him by people. It's going to be the skill set. It's going to be that 93 driving layup and that 95 ball handle that he's going to have to use to get to the basket in his career. But I think he's going to have a pretty decent shot at doing so. I also wanted to look at a couple other players around the league just to see how they developed after year one. Starting here with Archie Bernard, who is now up to an 83 overall. He has 11 badges now. Of course, the #1 overall pick last year's class over Saramago. Didn't go up 8 like Saramago did, but he did get quite a few badges here. Let's see what his potential's listed as now. Because I know, oh man, it's now listed as A+. Wow. So both Bernard and Saramago's potentials, massive boost here in this offseason. Now you're kind of maybe starting to see what the Grizzlies were thinking of with this player. Already just an elite rebounder, awesome interior defender. Didn't develop much offensively though. A lot of his development was just becoming an awesome rebounder and defender. But they kind of don't need a ton of offense on that squad, so I think they'll take that. And then I also want to look at the Wizards because they had Mac O'Neal. That's the other guy I wanted to look at. Mac O'Neal up to an 80 overall with 3 badges. I think he had 3 already, so I don't think he gained any badges. He did get 2 up to silver though. Not getting any badges is pretty rough for him. But his IQ is at least up to C now. It was like in the D's. Scoring went up. So there you have it on Mac O'Neal. Those are the 2 guys around the league that I wanted to see how they developed after 1 year. The 2 players in last draft class that I really like that, of course, weren't. And where did that one guy, Judd Trent, go? He's got to be on somebody's summer league team. I can't remember who drafted him. That was the guy that was compared to Kyrie Irving in last year's class. Judd Trent. Here he goes. He went to the Pacers. That's right. He's up to a 76. He was a 71, so he got a +5. His three-pointer's up to A. He has 3 badges now. Yeah, that potential is really high. A+ on him too. Dang. Would have been a fun player. 6'5", almost 240 pounds as a point guard. Doesn't really play defense though. So with that being said, we're ready to start our Summer League action here. I think I've given enough time for anybody who wanted to hop in and watch these games. Looked at a few players' ratings here, and now we are ready to go. Here's a look at what our starting lineup will be. We got Matisse Thybulle and Johnny Furphy to flank our 3 actual players that will be on our main roster come the season. Hardy, Ellis, and McKnight, of course, will all have roles with us on our Vancouver squad after the Summer League. Ellis and McKnight will both start. Hardy will be coming off the bench. But for right now, they're all playing alongside each other in the starting lineup. Again, 2 or 3 games is kind of what I'm thinking of for this stream. And I really we're going to watch the minutes that Ellis is on the floor. And now we get our first glimpse as to whether or not that 6'2" height with 6'1" wingspan is going to be able to work at the NBA level. It's definitely something that has a chance to fail, but I have a lot of hope for it. I didn't even see who took that shot. I was too busy trying to change some things here. Let's put my webcam back where I usually have it here, right above the scoreboard, and let's get into this game. Malik Beasley at like 30 years old is still playing some Summer League action here in this series. I don't know what 2K did with these Summer League rosters for this game, but they're all whacked up. Albert with the ball. Gets a screen from Thybulle. Pull up mid-range, rattles around, and home. The first basket for Albert Ellis. Gonna be a lot of pull-up jump shooting, I feel like, from Albert, so he's got to get the badges that will help him do that at a high level. Beasley, another miss on the jumper. We can get Albert to be a deadly pull-up jump shooter. He's going to be able to do some serious damage. Nice cut by McKnight, and the layup just off. A little late on the pass there. Gave Beasley time, who's shooting another 3. This time it goes down. He is a good shooter for sure. Can't count on him to miss all these open shots. Murphy with the top of the key, setting up Albert Ellis. Down to 6 seconds. Not really much going on with this possession. We're just going to end up putting up an off the dribble with Thybulle 3, but he hits it. All right. All right, Matisse. Beasley with it. Seattle going with pretty much the heliocentric Malik Beasley offense so far in the first couple of minutes. Ellis with it in the corner. Kicks it to Green Light McKnight. Setting up an up-top shot for McKnight, but it's tipped away. Thybulle able to recover, but another miss there at the rim. We're getting those shots right at the rim. We're just not nailing them, and a spinning jump shot there from whoever the heck 47 is. Ellis with it. Looks like we're setting up isolation. This is where he should thrive with that 95 ball handle. Getting stonewalled on his drive. Into the paint. Tough layup, and he gets it to go. Not an easy basket by any means. But he got it up and in. 4 early points for Ellis. Beasley with it, defended by McKnight. Seattle looking to set up something in the post. Our second rookie on the team. Hardy on the defense, and a nice job staying vertical. In transition. Tybal has it inside, but decides not to shoot it. Ellis trying to knife through, and there you have it. There you have it. Those shots were probably going for him at the college level, but a lot more length and athleticism on the inside here at the NBA. He's definitely going to have some shots absolutely blasted away. We're going to have to take those. Had a second shot at it and missed again. Furphy tips the inside pass, still ends up in the hands of the Sonics player. I don't know any of these Sonics Summer League players. Their Summer League roster is pretty bad. If it wasn't Albert Ellis' first game, we probably wouldn't have watched. This one is one of their spotlight games up top. This time it works out. Ellis to McKnight. The other thing, other than his height, that was brought up as a potential weakness for Ellis was the fact that he's not a great passer. As you can see when we previewed his ratings, it's not a product of his ratings as much as it is just his dished open man. I still think he'll be able to run the offense pretty efficiently. And it's not like 53 dished open man, which is what we have with Albert Ellis, is terrible by any means. It's just not going to be a top tier passer level stuff. And I think that affects more so the simulated games. It does affect the watched games as well, for sure. But how many assists somebody averages in simulation, I think, is heavily impacted by the dished open man tendency. Beasley, no good. McKnight with some nice defense. Ellis, heavy volume so far, been hit and miss with it. Into Hardy, fouled, can't quite get the basket on top of it. But a nice strong take. Hardy, I don't know what his free throw rating is. I know Ellis has a good one. Hopefully it's at least solid for Hardy, as he is a good shooting big, or at least a solid one. Vancouver leads 11-7 here, about halfway through the first. Beasley wide open for three, but another miss. Hardy has a mismatch in the post. McKnight will bring it to him. Double comes. Gonna shoot over the top of it all the same, and it's off the mark. Looks like they're running a play for Beasley again. It's stolen away by Greenlight McKnight. We haven't even seen him shoot a single jump shot yet, I don't think, unless he shot the very first one, because I didn't get to see that first jump shot of the game. Ellis has a big man on him, decides not to go there. We're going to set up Hardy in the post, but we're going to wait till there's 1 second left. Still works out for us. Lucky that guy went for the steal, otherwise that might not have worked out for us. Sometimes this game takes forever to feed it to the guy on the inside in the post, and I don't know why. Beasley from beyond the arc again hits for Seattle. Probably leads this game in shot attempts, either him or Ellis, but I'm pretty sure it's Beasley. Ellis gets a high screen. Don't know what's going on with this possession. Not much is happening, but McKnight does get space off the screen. It's his first jumper of the day. Had that alley-oop earlier. Beasley with it again. Dribble handoff, top of the key, but Ellis does a nice job shutting that drive down. Beasley forced to shoot over Tybal. Nice job by Hardy and Ellis, the two rookies combining for that rebound. Good hustle by both of them. Ellis. Not enough space generated off that screen to allow him the open three. Pulls up from the mid-range instead. Not a ton of space there. I'd like him to try a little bit harder to generate some space before you just fire. Doesn't have the height to just kind of fire over the top of the people and succeed. Not that the guy he's matched up against is very tall. He kind of probably looks pretty similar, maybe 6'2" himself. McKnight off the screen. Turns around and the three-pointer rattles in. I don't know why 2K uses that animation so often on three-pointers. You don't see a ton of three-pointers do that. But in 2K this year, it happens all the time. I wish they just switched to more... They use just more kind of regular makes. McKnight with it, dishes to Ellis. Setting up an off-ball screen for Thibault. Instead it goes to McKnight. As it's in there on the trigger, Ellis is just going to have to put up something crazy. Almost hits it. Leaky Black with the rebound. Screen for McKnight, but not really any separation. Now he's going to have to put up a late shot clock. These possessions were terrible. We got a second chance and did literally no better with it. Pick and roll. Ellis on the defense. So far, a nice job on his assignment. He hasn't had a tough assignment by any means. Beasley, no good. How many shots has Beasley taken? That's the question. I want to take a look. Beasley is 2 for 10 already in this game. He's the entire Seattle Supersonics offense. From the elbow, Ellis gets a screen. Pulls up from the mid-range and off glass for 2 more. Albert Ellis. Pretty solid. He's shot a lot and he's missed a few as well, but showed us some scoring chops in the first quarter. Longley from the mid-range. McKnight with a nice contest. Rebound goes to Albert Ellis. Under 90 seconds remain here in the first quarter. Setting up a corner 3 for Ellis, but once again, just screen and pass combination don't really give him much space there. McKnight leaning for a deep 3 and no good. We don't have anybody with limitless range. That'd be a badge I'd love to get McKnight at some point. And Ellis. Williams with the screen, pulls up for 3 behind it and hits it. Just 13 points allowed to these Sonics, though. Again, they're not a very good team for a Summer League team. But still, done our job defending them. Ellis gets a screen from Leaky Black. Goes inside to him. Floater, no good. Already nearly with the offensive rebound, but instead Seattle going the other way. Wasted their 2-for-1 opportunity here. So Vancouver will have the last shot, or at least if they want it, they'll have it. Ellis going to play the whole first quarter here. I imagine he'll be out to start the second. Trying to set up McKnight, but that one didn't really work out well. Off the dribble 3 from Ellis. No good. I think he made that shot a little bit harder than it needed to be. But it'll be 15-20 after 1. One thing with Ellis that you kind of saw in this first quarter, and I think at least in year 1, we're going to see some efficiency issues. I think point guards in general just usually have some efficiency struggles in their first year, especially being 6'2". I think you need those high-level badges. Like, everybody needs badges, right? But I feel like the shorter guards need badges more than most other players in 2K. Just in that Like the mini marksmans, the dead eyes, the shifty shooter. Those are just so much more important, I think, for the small guys, because they don't get any natural advantages from being able to shoot over somebody that's shorter than them or anything. With Albert Ellis on the bench, I think we'll go till about this point, see if he's back on the court. Look for the point guard, and I see him still on the bench. So we'll go a little bit more. He did play the whole first quarter, so he might be out until like the 4-minute mark. And I do see him back out there on the court. 29-43 is the score here. Still doing a good job keeping Seattle off the scoreboard. I mean, just barely with these free throws surpassing 30 points. Ellis with it. Going to Furphy inside. This is the Magic playbook, so there's going to be some plays for the power forward, but I don't know if we need to be setting up Johnny Furphy posts. And it's going to put Ellis in a tough spot here, and he gets his shot blocked. That was a waste of a possession. We went with a Johnny Furphy post up. He did nothing with it, absolutely nothing. And then he gave it back to Albert Ellis and said, please do something with this ball with 5 seconds left. It's okay, it is the Summer League though. Obviously not the same caliber of player, exaggerated history. Happy to have you here for the stream. Let's see Cameron McKnight get some looks. He is tired right now, which is unfortunate. But it feels like we haven't really been trying that hard to get Cameron McKnight any open looks. That was a good look for Ellis though. Just couldn't get it to go. He needs to be willing to pull off these off the dribble shots off of the screens. That's probably going to be his best way in year one to generate open looks. We can work him off ball a little bit, but I think he's going to be a pretty high volume on ball guy for us. McKnight shut down. Ellis space for three, rattles in for the rookie. Love that shot there. The two number 3 overall picks working together that we've made so far in this series. Is that Larry Nance playing in the Summer League? No, that's a generated player named Nance, I think. He gets the offensive rebound and puts it back up and in. Hardy with it from the elbow. Like we're running a DHO to McKnight. Decides not to fire from the post. I don't know if that would have gone in, so maybe a wise decision. Off the double team. Thibault all open in the corner. Great read from Ellis there. Happy to be not late. I know that my schedule for streams don't always work out for everybody. That's why I try to vary it depending on the day. During the week I can only do about this time because I have my job that I go to, but on the weekends I try to do them a little early, and it doesn't work out for many. Ellis takes the McKnight screen, space off of it. It's no good on the shot though. I like that he's not afraid to pull up for these shots. Doesn't need to really lean up on them though. He can take time to square up. House is going to be good, but that extra pick was a lot to give up. It was a lot to give up. And if Utah ends up winning the lottery next year or something, that's going to be tough to see. Losing on a potential #1 pick. Let's just hope that doesn't happen. There we go. Albert Ellis with 0.2 on the clock. Hits the shots. That Jazz pick was a lot. I think the fact that we traded with the Jazz felt good. Ultimately, I mean, Cameron McKnight must have went off when we weren't watching. Not that he was bad when we were watching, but definitely didn't have 16 points or anywhere near it. I think the Jazz, I mean, they lost Trae Young. Let's see what the halftime stats were. So McKnight and Ellis combined for 30. Each had 2 assists as well. Mays was good. Ultimately, what made me want to trade up for Ellis, though, and you've kind of seen it in this game too, is in this playbook and just in this game in general, the point guards are asked kind of in the final seconds of the shot clock to take these off the dribble threes off of a screen often. Like anytime the play doesn't work, like that play did work right there. Second time we've gotten alley-oop from Ellis to McKnight in this game. But when the play doesn't work and they just give the ball to the point guard with 7 seconds left on the shot clock, 90% of the time, that's going to be an off-the-dribble mid-range or three-point attempt off of a screen. And I think Albert Ellis is just going to be really good at those. Maybe not this year again. I think he needs a little bit of the badges to help him. He'll hit those, as he has at times in this game. We've also seen him miss a few of them. So I just don't know if Jackson Mays is ever going to be good at those. His shooting isn't very good. The idea of him Mays eventually being a very good defender and finisher and fast break magician, that made me excited. But just kind of looking at the Brogdons and the Lonzo Balls and everybody else that we've kind of employed at point guard, Isaiah Joe last year, it could just be because those guys are shooters. But we asked the point guards to kind of just create something at the end of these shot clocks very often here. And I wanted somebody that I trusted could take advantage of those opportunities when we needed them to. But yes, the price was steep, I will admit. The Jazz were by far the worst team in basketball last year. They added Shaedon Sharpe. They added Clifford Holland. Some of their young guys will develop. We'll see how bad Utah is next year. Ellis for 3 again. Vancouver leads by 10. I've seen people at least similar to Jackson Mays before. I don't know if I've seen somebody similar to Jackson Mays with a 6'11" wingspan, which was really intriguing from him. But Ellis was a little bit more of a rare build, and I just kind of wanted the chance to get a rare build. Just like, not that there aren't good point guards, but he's such a good ball handler. Hasn't really been able to create an isolation in this game in particular, but I'm sure he's going to show us at times some just really good dribble drives. Oh my, Tybal, another late shot clock heave that goes in for him. Second time he's done that in this game as well. Bailed us out a couple of times. Beasley, we're sending double teams on Malik Beasley here in the preseason. Let's go. I mean, not in the preseason. Effectively the preseason, but the summer league, because there is no preseason in 2K. Nice. Finish on the inside by McKnight. Starting backcourt looking good in this game. Beasley doubled again. Last time we were able to get a steal off of it. This time, not so lucky. Tough three, top of the key. You're excited when we traded up for Ellis. It was definitely, I was happy to see him fall to 3. I think once Dante Hardy went #1, I knew one of Morris or Ellis was going to be there at 3, and I felt 3 was very attainable for us. 2 I couldn't trade for because the Lakers It could be because of the stepping rule, and I didn't disable it ahead of the draft. Sometimes I will do that because you can do like draft night trades even with the stepping rule, but I forgot to disable it. So 2 was not available for us. I didn't think the Suns would give up 1. So 3 was kind of our mark, and Albert Ellis was there. But it's definitely a gamble, like Exaggerated History is saying. Ellis is not a surefire prospect. We've seen him get like absolutely stuffed twice in this game. I am worried that the height will eventually, you know, bite him maybe in the playoffs. Once we're, you know, kind of competing for championships. Is that going to be something that plagues him a bit? I'm hoping not. We see some really good, you know, shorter guards in 2K. The Kyries and the Stephs. But 2 things that both of those guys have. Really good animations and really good badges. Albert Ellis, I can show you guys his animations if y'all want. He has really good animations. Like, the players he has animations for his dribble moves and his jump shots and everything are really good. Not his base jump shot. His base jump shot's kind of random. But like his dribble moves and stuff are all like really high level players. So he has the good animations that he'll need to succeed. But he's got to develop the badges. And if he does, he'll be good. If not, he might struggle a bit. But it's a really fun gamble to make. It was a really fun trade to make. Get aggressive. Get one of the best players. And solidify... I want to say his layup package. His layup package is Steph Curry. I know that. But we can... Yeah, we'll take a look at his animations after this game. I was kind of looking through them. I don't ever like to change them, but I do like to see them. And all of his animations are like all-star, all-NBA caliber players. And that's because he came in with 93 driving layup and 95 ball handle. Almost got a 4-point play there. And so because his base ratings are so high, he was able to have all these awesome animations in those spots. So I'm excited for Ellis. I think he'll be a really fun point guard. Typically, I like kind of bigger point guards. We had like 6'6" Malachi Pope last year in my draft only franchise. We've had Lonzo Ball this year. Just because it's easier for them to finish and defend. But, you know, going against like the Stephs and the Kyries all these years where they're just unstoppable because they have these super tight handles and these awesome jump shots. That's what I'm hoping we eventually get with Ellis. Furphy with it. Driving baseline, and nice take. $18-point lead for Vancouver. If it goes up to 20, we might go to the next game. Maybe. We're really not here to see competitive games. We're really more here to see Albert Ellis play. Is kind of what we're actually here to see. So it's not quite like the regular season where if it's a blowout, you need to stop watching. But got a mismatch in the post for Hardy. Double team comes. It's the pass off, but didn't find the open man. So far, when Hardy's been doubled in the post, neither time he's passed it to the open man. One time he shot it, which I think was a bad shot, but then that right there should have identified Albert Ellis. There we go, a steal. Got Shed on the fast break. He'll shoot too. I think that might be Albert Ellis. Check out here. Nope. Albert Ellis is staying in. All right. He's running some of the 2, I guess. Don't know if we're going to see that in the regular season. But he does technically have shooting guard as his backup position. Daniel Barry, how's it going? Enjoying our first game of preseason. I keep calling it preseason. Summer League. McKnight and Ellis both looking good. Nice pass by Andre Ellis to the rolling Andre Hardy. Two rookies combined for the basket. From the corner, now up top for Longley. Ellis on the defense. Nice job and nice rebound. Saturday history, you like that pick and roll there? Oh, that's an illegal screen. That was a really nice pick and roll. Definitely Ellis's best pass of the day. I can't really like get super excited with my voice right now, unfortunately. I probably would have got a little bit more excited for it. Still got a little bit of a scratchy voice from the throat infection I had. It lasted like 2 weeks. It was crazy. I had to, whenever I was like doing meetings for work, I just couldn't talk for more than 10 minutes straight. So when I was recording episodes, I had to like do them in 10-minute segments, and I was doing work. And it was crazy. It's Maxwell Lewis on the court. Don't know why we have Albert Ellis playing so much here. I mean, I don't mind it. Seattle setting up the post for Vukcevic. Ellis fighting through that screen. Tried to go for the block there. It's going to get the red ring around his name here for the first time. One thing we're not going to see in this stream, but I'm very excited for. Mago got some serious upgrades in the offseason. Up to an 87. I'm so excited to see that guy play in year 2. He's going to be so good. Nice pass by Shed, jeez. That was not a very big window. They're definitely not going to take Ellis out now because he's on fire. Both free throws up and in. That guy's technically actually on our roster as well. It's one of the UDFAs I had to sign. Oh, it's whether he's double now. There you go, already getting double teamed. Third quarter of his first ever game action. Doesn't look quite as dominant as Mago looked in the preseason. He was a whole nother animal from everybody else playing when he was on the court in his summer league. Nice finish. Forbes there. 3 for 3 on the free throws. I think that took Albert Ellis route, right? Am I excited for the real NBA season? I'm definitely excited for the real NBA season. It'd be nice to have something to watch. Kind of on a nightly basis. After that offseason, Mago looks like he might be in the Mac Boyd. Mac Boyd's dominant in Stumpy's franchise last year. He might be. He's definitely, I think, going to be better than anybody we had with the Nashville Sound. Sidney Lowry was awesome. But Ayrton Saramago, like, is looking like he has like multiple MVP kind of upside. I honestly think after the upgrades he made, he should start getting all NBA nods as soon as this year, maybe. Nice double team, kicks it to McKnight. You gotta hit that, Cameron. Yeah, he definitely has like multiple MVP upside. Eventually, he's got some serious skills. All at 6'11" and 250 pounds. Nice pass, my goodness. Albert Ellis, what an assist. My goodness. I gotta watch that one again. That was crazy. Again, I can't really like scream loudly or anything or get excited with my voice, but geez. This is what it looks like when I go and I make these highlight clips for these college players. Look at this pass. Whoop. Beautiful. I was so happy. I mean, I was expecting, honestly, to come out of that draft with, like, McKnight and be like, we don't have our star player yet, but we've got a high-end role player. But, you know, somebody that we could pair with our star that we draft next year. But then Albert Ellis. I mean, then Ayrton Saramago felt it too, and it was perfect. We needed a high-level shot creator so desperately last year. And you even saw, like, the minutes where Mago wasn't on the court, or Lonzo, we still, like, extremely struggled. So if we didn't get Mago last year, I think last year would have been very tough to watch. No good from Albert. I also, last year for both of the players that we drafted, I felt like it was easy to come up with nicknames for them. I haven't come up with anything good for Albert Ellis. So y'all are going to have to help me out with some Albert Ellis nickname possibilities. Nice defense from McKnight. Now that we're actually trying to win this year, I think it's going to be fun to see just how impactful of a two-way player McKnight is. Nice pass. The rotation was there. What are we doing here? Pavel's gonna... Oh no, he's gonna pass it to Ellis. See what I'm saying? Like, that was an extreme example, but so often when we don't get anything going, we're just like forcing our point guard to take some crazy bad shot. And I just feel like out of anybody in these first two drafts, Ellis probably has the best chance of being good at those. Nice job by McKnight. Summer League Ellis making me look silly. No, it's still a very valid point, exaggerated history, because I think somebody else pointed out too that, like, there's a chance, because of how athletic Mays is, that they could be pretty much almost similarly good within 2 or 3 seasons, and then you would have the Jazz pick. That's a valid argument. As Albert Ellis gets taken out for the rest of this game. But, like, it wasn't an easy decision for me. In fact, I think I said it in the video. My plan A was to sit at 4 and take Jackson Mays in that class. That was my plan A. Dante Hardy going it, because I thought it was going to go either Morris 1, Ellis 2, or vice versa. I thought those were the first 2 players being taken. I didn't think I could get to 1, and because it was probably going to take me more than the Jazz pick, and I didn't want to give up more than the Jazz pick to move up in this class. That was the max value I was willing to, because I still wanted something next year. We still have the Hawks picks next year, which isn't a bad pick to have either. I forgot to look at the box score here, so let's do that. 30 and 11 with 4 assists for McKnight. On 21 shots, he hit 4 of 10 from 3. I mean, Ellis was only 6 for 20. That's gonna, like, we're gonna see, I think, pretty poor efficiency from Ellis until he can get his badges up. He'll have good games for sure. He'll have good stretches, and he had good flashes in this game as well. 8 assists was really good. No fouls for Albert Ellis. Another fun little tidbit there. But like 20 points on 20 shots isn't amazing, but he's showing you the flashes, and that was a really good game as a passer. Do the Pelicans have anybody good? If not, we might skip this game and go to the next game. If Yves Misi, I kind of like Richie Barlow, but that's not a very interesting summer league team. I kind of want to play a more interesting team than the Sonics. So let's go. I don't think the Celtics will have anybody interesting either. Who's Alton Jeffries? 77 overall. It's pretty good. Good offensive player. Actually, really dang good. I think he's in his second year. Yeah, he was picked with a 13th pick. Also, as Johnny was saying, no turnovers for Ellis last game. No fouls, no turnovers. Just not as super efficient from the floor. Yeah, let's watch the Celtics. They're 2-0 here as well in the preseason. Maybe give Ellis a little bit more of a defensive challenge so you can see if he can still hold up. Celtics have a home court advantage here in Las Vegas. See us rocking the blue unis for this one. Albert Ellis. I don't know if there are any good nicknames based off his name. I think we're going to have to go something that doesn't go with his name for his... Oh, I was going to look at his... You know, before we get too deep into this game, because I'll probably forget if we don't do it right now. So we're going to erase Albert Ellis, never missed that 3. Erase it from your minds. I wanted to show you guys what his animations were. If I don't do it now, I'll forget. So here's his jump shot. Donovan Mitchell base, Trey Jones upper release, quick release timing. Pretty solid. I feel like that's a good looking jumper. His go-to shot is Ja Morant. I mean, look how much space you get off that crossover. Jeez. Triple pull-up, Steph. I mean, anytime you have a jump shot that involves Steph, you got to feel good about it. Spin jumper, Kyrie. I don't know how often we're going to be pulling that spin jumper out, but when he does, that looks pretty clean. And the hot jumper is Dame. I mean, Steph, Irving, Dame, Ja Morant. And free throw 47. Layup package here, we have Steph again. I feel like it's a really good layup package for undersized guards. It's pretty varied. And what I like about it is a lot of them have, like, he's extending all the way out. You know, he's not trying to, like, use his body because you're going to get blocked more like that. You can extend out more, excuse me. And then, I mean, the dunks, they are what they are. Post shots, they are what they are. It's got LaMelo's dribble style. And some more dribble stuff. The signature size up is Kyrie, Jalen Brunson, Steph. Let me hide this. Jalen Brunson, LaMelo Ball, Steph. So, like, These are really good animations that he has. And it's because he, again, came into the league with 95 ball handles. So he was able to kind of already have a lot of these really good... why isn't it finishing these animations? I kind of want to actually see these step backs, but we can't see them because they keep cutting. Whatever. But, I mean, we get some Trae Young in here. He's got Kendrick Nunn motion style, I guess. I did add, like, pregame and jump ball stuff. He didn't have anything for these, so I added these. I think I also added the fact that he chews gum. Just to give a little bit more personality. I don't ever change anything that has actual impacts on what the guy's going to do on the court, but stuff like this, just to give him a little bit more personality, because he didn't have anything. I added that. But there you have it. There's his animations. Wanted to take care of that so I didn't forget. Now let's play the Celtics. And I forgot we lost the tip because I forgot to make a CPU versus CPU inside. Alton Jeffries, lottery picking, coming into his second year here. A really solid depth guard for Boston this year. And 2K doesn't like Boston all that much, but it's usually because their depth isn't great. But that's a good, nice depth piece now that they have. He's already like 24 though. 2K generates way too many old prospects. Last year's class was insanely old. It was nuts. After the top three guys, like, there was nobody below 21 years old for the rest of the class. Nice. So that he did a nice job getting around Jeffries there, just couldn't finish it. I don't even know how to pronounce that guy's last name. Jeffries with Ellis on him, gets the foul, and the basket. Maybe nickname Alb3. That's why I turn off one and done else for some of my playthroughs. That could be a way to do it. I don't know, does that actually significantly impact everybody else though? I do like kind of keeping that realistic. It also just helps me in the creation, right? If everybody goes to college, because I can get clips on them when they're in college. There's ways to do like high school as well, but even like the international players, I'll just say he's from here, but he went to college here. Another tough miss there by Alb3. I don't know. I think it's going to take some... Ellis already with 2 fouls. It's a good thing it's the Summer League. Not quite as good of a start for our boy Ellis. I even had a nickname prepared, a possible nickname at least, for Jackson Mays if we had drafted him. But I'm not going to not pick a player of the caliber of Albert Ellis just because it's hard to make a nickname. Straight A. I like it. Because he's pretty much got straight A's across his board for his ratings. Oh my! Matisse Thybulle. Holy crap. That was a nasty block. Holy. Jeffries defended by McKnight. Why are we fouling it every possession? Can we calm down a little bit here? I mean, you shut him down, McKnight, but then you bailed him out with a foul. Nice drive. Nice drive. I really like that take from McKnight. Ask him to create something out of nothing, he can't do it. But when you ask him to create off advantages right there, it didn't really work. Abe. I mean, a very simple thing you could do is shorten his name from Albert to Al. Or Birdie. Birdie's always a fun name to call people, but I don't feel like Al Ellis sounds better than Albert Ellis, so it's tough. Nice block by Hardy. Oh, makes you think of Al McCoy. Play-by-play announcer for Phoenix. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Ellis is going to have to create something here. This is it to McKnight, and he gets fouled. Let's go. Only 4 points for us through 5+ minutes in this game. It has not been very smooth offensively. It's a good thing I've been distracted thinking of nicknames, or it's be rough to watch. I think this year, for the first time, we're going to have like a full rotation that kind of makes sense. I felt like our starting rotation was solid last year, but as soon as you had to start bringing on the backups, it just started getting a little fuzzy. But this year you'll have like actual point guard on the court for all 48 minutes. I do think Hardy hasn't done anything crazy good in the summer league or anything. I was wide open. I'm thinking he'll be able to be a little bit more of a presence than Najee was. Najee was just a complete negative offensively last year, and I'm hoping we can get more than that out of Hardy. I think another year of development for like Max Christie. He's looking good. I don't think there's going to be like really big stretches where you're just like, please, can we get a bucket? Please, you know? Even though that's what's happening here in the preseason. We're starting to heat up a little bit here. Just whenever both Lonzo and Mago were off the court, and maybe I should have made up lineup where there's always at least one of them on the court. That was probably have been a good idea by me. We just weren't very good, so I wasn't super concerned with it. When neither of those players were on the court, it was tough to watch us play offense. And I don't think we'll have any of those lineups this year. Because my plan is to always have one of Albert Ellis or Ayrton Saramago on the court. Which kind of gives us the guy we're trying to run our offense through at all 48 minutes. I'm hoping that just makes things a whole lot smoother for us. Nice shot there. Team's looking a lot better. Definitely looking a lot better. And one thing about this is going to be one of the things I mentioned at the top when we start next season. Like, now we can actually finally start to evaluate, like, our head coach, too. Like, the first 2 years, he didn't really have much to work with. You can't super evaluate him. But now we start to learn if Powers is kind of a coach that we want to take into the future. Now we learn a lot about our role players, where it's been a little bit more difficult to judge some of our role players. Because maybe they were asked to do more than they should be. We can start looking at this team. We're still very young, and you want to look at, you know, the positives and the flashes, but you start to look a little bit more analytically at this team and find kind of the areas. It's no longer that we kind of need a whole bunch of things, right? Now that we've retained Duran, and that's not a question mark anymore. Starting to look more at kind of specific skill sets to complement what we already have, because we kind of have a big three now. It's going to be a fun season for me to watch and to create content on, for sure. I'm excited to see what storylines develop here in year 3. One of the things that I'm still not sure of is who's going to be the 5th starter. I kind of have 2 different lineups in mind. The first is, so the 4 guys that are going to start for sure are Albert Ellis, Cameron McKnight, Ayrton Saramago, and Jalen Duran, right? That's pretty easy. The 5th starter, I don't know if it's better if we have Christie or Josh Green. And so one lineup is Albert Ellis at the... So all 3 lineups have Albert Ellis at the 1, Ayrton Saramago at the 4, and Jalen Duran at the 5. I have one lineup that has McKnight as the 2 and Josh Green as the 3. Or the other lineup that I kind of like is to have Max Christie at the 2 and Cameron McKnight at the 3. And I have McKnight maybe transition to a little bit more of a power forward. I think his lack of creation and the fact that his physicals kind of went down a little bit. Maybe lean into the fact that he's going to be a small forward, a better small forward going forward than he is a 2 guard. So been watching the Nashville franchise. That franchise was a lot of fun. I wish you drafted the center Gonzalez. So before we traded up for Ellis, I was gonna try to pick Mays at 4, and then if Gonzalez didn't get pick 5, I was gonna try to trade to 6 or 7 with the Hawks pick, because the Hawks pick 6 this year. I was gonna offer them their 1st rounder next year, and see just how enticing that was to them. The problem is we didn't have much to offer them that year, right? Offering somebody their 1st back next year is fine and dandy, especially for a team like the Hawks, who are picking just outside the top 5. But I wanted to try to get them both. I don't know if we were going to be able to pull that off, trade up to 6 or 7 using the Hawks pick. I didn't want to use the Jazz pick unless I was getting one of the top 2 guys. But if I could have traded up using the Hawks pick to get both Mays and Gonzalez, I was going to try that. But then, of course, we ended up using the Jazz pick to get Albert Ellis. So that kind of went out the window. We weren't going to get another top 10 pick in this class. Rookie put in the scouting and prospect analysis is top tier in every game. Thanks. It's the best part of the game. I love it, man. I wish it was as easy to do like what I do with the prospects here, where I can actually get clips of them. Like you can do it in MLB The Show, technically, kind of. And you can do it in football, but you can't actually like create the players, right? I can go on to College Football 25 and make a guy that Well, I can't even make a guy in college football 25, which makes it even harder. But I could just get some clips of some Michigan defensive end and say he's the #1 edge rushing pick in the class. And I can create a separate franchise file in MLB The Show that has a bunch of generated players in it. But with 2K, what I love about it is that they just have their player DNA. Such an amazing idea. I just export the DNA, put it in a different franchise, and I get to see how these guys play in real life, and it's really valuable to me because I get to see kind of how their tendencies play on the court. Sorry. Oh, I don't know why. I don't know why I had that off. I don't know how long I had it off. But I get to see how somebody's tendencies play on the court, which in the CP versus CPU franchise is vital. You know, I get to see, does this guy take just terrible shots all the time, or does he do this, that, or the other? Super valuable, and I think it helps create immersion for you guys as well. Kind of seeing a bunch of grades on a sheet is one thing, but seeing a guy play is a whole different animal. And even if it is just for a few slowed down clips, you know. Getting to see kind of what gear the guy wears, what kind of swag he has, you know, stuff like that. Some of their highlight plays. Makes the draft a lot more interesting, both for me and I think for you guys as well. I would have loved to get Gonzalez though, man. 7'5", that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, at some point in this series, we're going to have a playoff series against Wemby. I'm hoping there's at least like a 7'2" or 7'3" center in a future class that we can take. Because that was one very, like, that was, if I would have taken Gonzalez, that was really the only reason. It's not because, I mean, we obviously ended up retaining Duren, and I like Duren as a starter, but 6'10" Duren isn't going to be able to defend Wemby. In fact, I'd probably put Saramago on Wemby if we face the Spurs in the playoffs with the lineup that we have right now. I'm just hoping at some point, I mean, we have Hardy as our backup center now, so we don't really need center. But honestly, if there's like a good 7'3" center that we can take, 7'2", at some point, I think I'm going to have to take them. Even if, I don't know how it would work. Maybe we just have to not have Hardy anymore. I don't think Hardy's such a great player that I wouldn't ever consider upgrading over him. We haven't seen him do that much here in this. He hasn't played poorly by any means, but he hasn't been lighting the world on fire here in Summer League. So somebody that can potentially stop Wemby. I think Wemby's going to be almost impossible to stop no matter who you have, but we definitely need, I think, somebody better than Duren to stop Wemby. That's a 7-inch advantage. And a 7-inch advantage is insane, but like in 2K, that means more than I think even it does in real life sometimes. So, nice move. Jeffries has been tough for Ellis to score on, though. Got good size for point guard. Really good series, really enjoying it. Thank you for that. I've been really enjoying it as well. Hasn't been getting as many views as the Sound series got, which is unfortunate, but like the comment section in this series has been really active, which, I mean, like, views are what help, you know, expand the channel and all that, but as long as people care enough about the series to comment consistently, that's all I need to know that y'all like it. So, and the comment sections have been pretty active with this series, which I've appreciated. Oh, Smith at the top of the key goes to McKnight. Takes a Furphy screen, stop and pop for 3, no good. We need some limitless range on that man. Really badly. There aren't a ton of people that just have it in the mentorship market, though, unfortunately. Have you pinpointed the issue? I think it's just an issue in 2K25 where the potentials are whack. The comparison bar. So I did some research off. I didn't want to do it until like the last couple days, or I guess no, it was, well, I recorded it on Sunday, but I released it yesterday because I didn't want to spoil whether or not Saramago actually had B- potential or A potential. But once we found out that Saramago did not have B- potential, oof. Bad screen there by McKnight. I kind of done some more research, and basically the comparison bar is right. And the grades are just whacked in this game. That's pretty much the deal. So whenever you're drafting, pay attention to the comparison bar. It's a little bit high, like, and just go off of grades. Like if it's a little bit higher or lower, you're probably one portion higher or lower than the average. If it's a lot, then it's kind of hard to tell. But from this point forward, I'm basically going to be using the comparison bar unless they say something's fixed. The weird part for me, though, is not everyone's broken. Like, some people have it right. And usually after their first offseason, as we saw with, like, Saramago, it's right now. You know? It's just their rookie year is going to be off. And in every case, after the first year, it went to what the comparison bar said. So, yeah, coming out of the draft, just use the comparison bar, and then a year later, it'll be fixed. Because potential is still dynamic, right, in this game. There's still boom potential, average potential, and bust potential. Just like there has been for, say, a couple 2Ks. I can't remember when they introduced it. But, and nice little step back jumper there. McKnight looking good. He didn't develop quite as much as Saramago, but that's because Saramago jumped like a flipping maniac. I was expecting like an 84 from Saramago probably this year, like a +5. I'm going to +8. See the halftime stats. McKnight, 7 of 13 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. Ellis only 8 points at half this time, but 5 assists, still only 1 turnover. So he's at 13 assists to 1 turnover so far in the stream. That's really good. He's shooting 30% though, just like he was last game. 6 for 20 last game, 3 for 10 now. Yeah, it is weird. It's random players. And most of the time, it's the high potential players. Like, I haven't seen, like, low potential players have, like, A. You know what I mean? It's just, some players just have their grade nerfed for whatever reason. I don't know if, like, for some players, they're using their bust potential, which could be something that they're doing. I have no idea. Oh, mistimed the alley-oop there. Yeah, always happy to explain what I know. Sometimes I just don't know. But in that case, from what I've seen, is the comparison bar is always right. Terrence Shannon with the basket. Vancouver leads by just 1. Do you ever adjust shot tendency? So apart from touches tendency, I don't like to adjust a ton. I will, on occasion, adjust something if it's totally out of whack. Like, if the first overall pick in the draft has a 40 shot tendency, no. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want the first overall pick who's got insane ratings to be taking 10 shots a game. You know what I mean? But that's kind of my rule of thumb. Is touches tendency, because that's really on a coach. How much do you touch the ball is less about a player, more about a coach. So I adjust that at will. And then kind of the stuff that's way out of whack. If like Albert Ellis had like a bunch of post tendencies to the point where like half of his shots were coming out of the post, I would change that too. But yeah, if it's like a little annoying how much somebody does something, but it's not crazy terrible, I'll usually keep it because it kind of adds player personality to the point where, you know, a player doesn't play exactly how you want them to. They play how the player would, and it requires you then as kind of the GM slash head coach slash beat reporter. I view when I play franchise mode, I'm playing it from 3 point of views, right? The GM, the head coach, and kind of the beat reporter. It becomes your job as kind of the GM slash head coach to work around this player's weird tendencies. The Boomer Rust thing they added messed it up? Question mark. I think something changed with Boomer Bust or something, but they've had that in the game for, I know that for sure last year, and I think they had it 2 years ago as well. And the potential grades weren't messed up last year. I feel like I'm the coach. Yeah, and I also think tendencies change from year to year too. I haven't seen how much. Like, I know shot tendency changes. I know for 100% fact, shot tendency changes on its own year to year. I don't know how much the other tendencies change, but the fact that I know tendencies are at least a little bit dynamic year to year makes me feel like I don't change it. But I'll have to see if other tendencies actually change. Like, will Albert Ellis dish to open man increase a little bit year by year to the point where he's eventually like in the 60s, right? Low 60s maybe by the time he's in the end of his career. That would be cool. But if it's not and it's 53 every year, maybe at some point I'll boost it up to like 58. It's like, no, he's a veteran now. He's probably a little more smart. He's a little smarter, able to recognize the court a little bit more to find his teammates. So that's something I'll have to monitor. I haven't done any editing really because last year I felt like I didn't need to, but it might become a problem in this series. Okay, Albert Ellis is starting to cook a little bit here. I don't really mess with touch tendencies. Yeah, definitely do touch tendencies. I think that one you have to do because it's how often your team will run a play for that player. And so, like, I think Saramago's touch tendency was in the 60s when we started. I was like, no way. I bumped it all the way up to the 80s so that, like, we'd be running for... I think I maybe even bumped it up to the low 90s by the end of the year. So that we would be just running a bunch of plays for Saramago. Yeah, I feel like if you're worried about who's shooting and how much they're shooting, I think the touches tendency won't 100% take care of the problem, but it does a lot of it. Is how often you're going to run a play for them. But like, I've seen players that like their whole thing is like they're a sharpshooter, right? But then they come in and their shot 3 tendency is like 0 or 10, and that doesn't make sense. So I'll change that. But I got a 5-point Vancouver lead here. My nose. I don't know why my nose always gets clogged when I stream. It's got to be something with just like sitting here and monologuing for so long that something happened to my sinuses. I haven't had a clogged nose at all in weeks. But I start streaming, I get one. Nice 3 by whatever that guy's last name is. Not even gonna try to pronounce it. Already to the free throw line. First one is just a little off. Second one up and off again. 0 for 2 for Hardy. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I do want to see what his free throw rating is. Hardy, no points here today. 75. That's actually pretty solid. High school theater. Nice. I took one theater class. And I couldn't do anymore. Not like necessarily even monologues, right? I'm talking in more short, but it's just extended of me just talking and talking and talking. Who's your sleeper team in real life? In the Horn? I think Brandon Miller's really good. And I can see the Hornets doing really well. Oh man. Sleeper team. I guess I don't know. I don't have a ton of information as to like how teams are viewed. Like teams like over-unders and where they're projected to go. I don't know how people view the Rockets. I think the Rockets have the potential to be really good. My fear with the Rockets is they have too many like rotation guys that there are going to be guys who aren't happy because they're going to be getting like 12 minutes in a game when they should be getting like 20, you know what I mean? Or something like that. But I think Houston has a chance to be pretty good this year. Again, I don't know. Like, I think they have a chance to be a playoff team, and I don't know if they're already viewed as kind of like the 8th seed in the West, so that might not even count. Where are you from? My favorite team, Utah Jazz, right here. So we're not doing so hot right now here with the Utah Jazz. But hopefully hopefully here in Utah we let the young guys cook this year. We've been in a weird spot where Will Hardy's a really good coach, and we play the vets and we end up kind of around 500 at the trade deadline every year. Annoyingly so, because we shouldn't be a 500 team, and then we trade away the guys that helped us get to 500, and we take the rest of the year, but by then it's too late, and you end up with a lottery pick, but not high enough to really have a good enough chance at a top 4 pick. Hopefully this year, just from day one, we play the young guys, we get a high pick for next year's class. Guys are like the Suns, a lot of fun teams. Yeah. Darren Williams, Carlos Boozer, Andre Karolinko Jazz. I really liked watching those teams. I liked watching the beginning of the Donovan Mitchell era. By the end, it was clear it needed to end. Western Conference title with that Darren Williams Jazz team, but that's as far as we ever got. I wasn't a fan yet when they like lost to MJ in the finals or anything. I wasn't old enough to be a fan. Andre Hardy for 3, his first shot of the game, and it's down the barrel. That's what I like about Andre Hardy. 7-footer that can hit some threes. I think I hope he's better than Zeke Naji. Zeke Naji actually would get some pretty good shot blocks last year. But that was like the only thing he could do was block shots. He wasn't a great rebounder. Did nothing offensively for us. So Albert Ellis, even at 6'2", he has that A- defense, and he's playing a pretty decent guard here in Boston. I mean, he's like 77 overall. He's not special, but he's been kind of clamping him down a bit for the most part. I like what I'm seeing there. Jeffries forced to put up the late shot clock heave, and it's off. McKnight in transition. There you go. That's a 7 seconds shot right there. I'm hoping with this team, I mean, we got like Lonzo, we got Ellis, we got Mago. I'm hoping we push the ball and we don't end up with as many. I hope we play a little bit more 7 seconds-y. We played kind of that way at times last year, but I think we might have a team that's a little bit more able to kind of push the ball and get these early shot clock shots a little bit more this year. Jackson Mays probably fit that a little bit better specifically, but I still think Albert Ellis can thrive in a 7 seconds kind of system. Because he can kind of just very quickly isolate, drive to the rim. Minute left here in the third. So Ellis pretty much plays the entirety of the first and third. And then is out for major stretches in the second. And then kind of the fourth, depending on if it's a close game. This one's closer than the last one for sure. We're not scoring nearly as much. And the Celtics are scoring better than Seattle. Albert Ellis has kind of cooled down a little bit here. Missed his last couple shots. It's not even that he's not a good passer, exaggerated. His passing ratings are really good. I think we saw, I don't know, you weren't here, I think, at the very beginning of the stream, but I looked at his actual ratings. His ratings are good. It's just his tendency isn't quite as high as you want it for a point guard. Like his pass accuracy is like 89 or something, and his vision's 80. That's exactly what they are. So I can show you what I'm talking about. And other people who came in a little bit later. Oh, pass accuracy 74. Oh, his pass vision's good, and his pass IQ is good. 74, I mean, it's going down. It's not actually 74. But basically, he pass IQ, pass vision, all that's really good. It's just the fact that his tendency is only a 53 for dish to open man, which is going to make his assist be down a little bit. 56. It's not. It's 53. Warriors. Ah, lucky man to be a Warriors fan. It's 53. So I think inside the game stuff will go up and down, but it's 53 base. That's really gonna and in the games that we're watching, it's obviously not limiting him, right? He has 9 assists this game. He had 8 assists last game. It's really, I think, gonna just affect how many assists he gets per game in simulation. But I mean, 17 assists, 2 turnovers in a game and 3 quarters so far for Ellis. That's perfectly fine for point guard. You know what I'm saying? Now he's had the ball in his hands, I think, a little bit more than he will in the regular season. We're gonna be putting the ball in Saramago's hands, of course, a lot. So I don't know if he'll quite be having like 8, 9, 10 assists a game. I think probably more around like 7, maybe 6, 7, but that's still good enough. It's just, it'll make him a little bit more shot happy kind of in these situations. So it's the mid-90s. Monte Ellis, Baron Davis. I remember some Warriors battle, like the Baron Davis versus Darren Williams kind of battles. Those are fun. Monte Ellis was like the most unstoppable guy in one of the 2Ks. I can't remember which one it was, but Monte Ellis could not be stopped. He was better than Kobe Bryant in that game. I didn't even see his Albert Ellis back in. Yes, he is. So we're down by 2 now. We might actually get a close game here. Kind of maybe get a glimpse at what Albert Ellis is like in the clutch. We've seen McKnight be very tired in these fourth quarters. Don't love that. Did his stamina get nerfed this season? I know his physicals did. I didn't check if his stamina got nerfed. Ellis, that was about as easy as a mid-range jump shot as he's going to get. My throat's starting to get really dry. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a third game, guys. Might just have to be 2 Summer League games here for this stream. This stupid throat stuff, man. I don't know why, but whenever I get sick, Like throat soreness lasts like twice as much as it should for me. Like every time I get any kind of sickness that involves the throat, it drives me nuts. Normally, like a throat infection is a week, and you'll have a little bit more of like healing. But my throat infection lasted like for 2 weeks and it's still healing. Oh yeah, I know. Monte Ellis was dope. Just a bucket, man. Seven seconds or less, Suns. Nash and Amari, I loved that team. That was my second favorite team at that time. I always kind of have a second favorite team because rooting for the Jazz is fun, but sometimes you need to also root for a second team when you're a Jazz fan. Right now, I really like the Magic as my second favorite team, I would say. Just because massive Paolo Banchero fan. Back in the day, I would like evaluate the NBA drafts and stuff, and I loved Paolo Banchero. That's for well at a free practice. There you go. I've like met some Jazz players. As in me, I mean like they'd come to an event and like shake your hand and you get to say hello. That's like as much as I've ever been able to interact with any professional basketball players. I got, I don't know if you can even see. Oh, you can't see. So I have these two jerseys here, but I have two up here as well above this picture, and one of them in the corner has a signed Larry Markkinen, and he was there at an event and he signed it for me. Got to see him for a second. He's a cool guy. But down by 7 now. Things not going so great for us here. Sorry, I'm not going. That's why that was part of the reason why I love him. I was like, this guy could be Banchero, but better. Cool story you have is Kobe shaking his head when you weren't wearing Lakers gear. There you go. Kobe, man. The bane of the Jazz's existence for many playoff runs for the Darren Williams Carlos Boozer Jazz. Made me want to hate him, but then he was an Eagles fan, so I couldn't hate him. But he kept ending all these Utah Jazz seasons. And he was obviously an extremely talented basketball player as well. He was definitely the most hated athlete in Utah, though, when I was growing up, because of how much he would kill the Jazz. Kobe Bryant. What a basketball player. If I wasn't going to do I had an idea, and I wanted to do kind of a expansion team, but with NBA eras, and build around Kobe as kind of like the first draft pick of the franchise. And you guys couldn't be dunking. The Spurs machine. Spurs beat us a time or two as well. But it was mostly the Lakers. And weirdly, the T-Mac Rockets we had a couple of really good battles with. The Yao Ming T-Mac Rockets. T-Mac, that's a throwback name. I love T-Mac. Oh, just off for Ellis there. Really needed that one to go. Probably got to lock in and commentate here for the last minute 18. We got a 5-point ball game here. Too busy reminiscing on old times. Excellent block there by Andre Hardy. Gives us a chance to trim this to one-score game. Let's see if we can get a nice bucket for McKnight or Ellis here. Pick and roll. Ellis on the drive. Shut down by Jeffries. Inside. What a pass to Hardy, and the layup falls. 3-point game. 82-79. 50 seconds remain. Jeffries trying to drive on Ellis, shutting him down. Swing over to Terrence Shannon Jr. Back to Jeffries. He's going to go inside on Albert Ellis. Hardy with the help defense. Tillman from the mid-range. No good. That's the stop Vancouver needed in transition. Green light McKnight kicks to Albert Ellis. Straight A Ellis. Isolating against Jeffries. Swings it over to Tybal. Back to straight A. 4-3. The tie. And it's good. Oh, geez. I told you guys I couldn't yell. I tried to. I tried to anyway. But what a shot by Albert Ellis. Off the dribble. Shot clock winding down. And Albert Ellis makes it 82 apiece. One more stop. Shannon. No good. Call timeout. We don't have one. Yes, we do. Why didn't we call it? Why didn't we call timeout? We're headed in overtime. Straight A Ellis. Until I hear a better one, that's going to be his nickname. I like it. Man. Beautiful shot by the Rook. Let's see what the stats are heading into overtime. We've got 37 for Cam McKnight. Good night. Or shall I say green light. Albert Ellis, 22 and 10 with 5 rebounds. No stocks or anything. 3 blocks for Hardy. Up to 7 points. I mean, we looked and he had no points. I like Hardy. I think he's an upgrade over Zeke Naji, even though he's just a 71 overall. Who's 1 for 6? Jamal Shed, man. What you doing out there? 9 for 25 for Ellis. Again, not efficient yet, but hit the massive shots. The shot that got us here to overtime. Which who cares about efficiency if you're hitting shots like that and you have a double-double? Shannon, tough shot, and he gets it around Cam McKnight's. Oh, I missed a chat here. Why were the Jazz looking to trade Kessler? Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make a ton of sense to me either. I don't know if Hardy loves that kind of center. Is I think ultimately the thing, maybe. And the Jazz had that, you know, paint protector, interior only kind of big with Rudy Gobert. Albert Ellis just won that tip. That's nuts. Nice pass again for his 11th assist. I mean, Kessler's one of your young assets. I don't know why you'd want to trade him unless you're getting like really good value. But, I mean, on a permanent basis, one of the best shot blockers in the league during his first 2 years. So I just hope he gets more minutes. Like, I don't care to see John Collins play a ton of center for the Jazz next year. I know it kind of hurts the spacing a bit because although he's tried to shoot threes, he hasn't really been good at it. Nice shot there by Jeffries. Yeah, unless you're getting like really good value, I'd be keeping Kessler if I were Utah. That's the thing with Danny Ainge, though. Even when he was with Boston, like, everybody's an asset, and every asset has a price that you're willing to move on it from, right? I'm not saying that Kessler should be considered untouchable, but Danny Ainge has never been afraid to trade a piece if he thought he was getting value. So I think the reason the rumors came about the Jazz looking to move value is because people were kind of offering some solid value for him. And Danny Ainge just isn't going to turn down value ever. The trade machine. And Andre Hardy, what a three. All right. That's 12 assists, a dozen assists for Ellis in this game. So far, that dish to man tendency not keeping him from having some really good assist numbers. And one thing, I didn't think he'd have trouble with assists. I just didn't think he'd have any like of those like, wow, what a great pass. But he's having those as well. For the lead, Albert Ellis, pull up from the mid-range, just too much on it. Or I guess did it hit front rim first? I can't remember. I know it came off back rim, but I can't remember if I hit front rim first. Shannon on the drive, McKnight on the defense. Turn around, no good, but Tillman on the offensive board gives Boston back the lead under 2 minutes. No good again for Albert Ellis. These kind of stop and pop jumpers haven't really been working out too well for him. Jeffries over Ellis, no good. Ellis with the rebound. Makes up for it on the defensive ends. And there's a reach-in foul. Boston had one to give, though, so no free throws. Ellis top of the key. To Matisse Thybulle. To McKnight. Thought he was going to pull that for a second. Instead, it's Ellis from the corner. No good. I thought that was in. Would again Vancouver the lead. That's 3 straight misses for straight A. Oh, what's with these makes in 2K25, dude? How does that make it? End of the basket. Things not looking great. We're down by 5. We need to score here. Ellis is unfortunately running cold. Do we run a play for McKnight here? We inbound it to him, but it's right back to Ellis. We're running ISO for Albert Ellis. Pull-up jumper. Rolls in. Back to a 1-1 score game. From 3, Terrence Shannon left alone, no good. Ellis with it again. If this goes to double overtime, I don't know if my voice can take it. My voice is starting to go. Ellis for 3 again, and he hit it again. Oh my gosh. Albert Ellis. What a cold, cold man. Last year we had Malachi Pope for the Nashville Sound, who developed quite the reputation for being a really good down the stretch player. Can we get that at point guard again, where Albert Ellis is just the guy we can depend on to hit these massive shots? Albert Ellis, my goodness. 2 straight baskets, has us tied. Boston playing for the final shots. Terrence Shannon, defended by McKnight. Kick to Tillman, left alone, no good, and it's double overtime. These guys are going to be dead by the time we get to the end of this game. Jeez. Captain Clutch. Ice in his veins. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to go down to like 3 minutes. We'll do that. So maybe the first 2 minutes, somebody's got to win. We're in double overtime, and we're still not above 100 here. Ellis for 3 again. This time too strong. We're up by 4 here. This time not trying to come from behind in the final minutes, although we're not quite to the final minute yet. All right, here we go. What do we come up with here? I think we're trying to get something going for McKnight. Oh, it's that stupid play where he stops in the mid-range. He has like so much space, but he stops in the middle of nowhere. And it's just it comes at a screen for Ellis, but he'd be so open off the screen if he would just take it. Jeffries driving in on Ellis. Double comes for a moment. Nice job by McKnight to get back out on his man. Shot clock winding down for Boston. Shannon forced to take a three and it's no good. All right. Haven't really set up anything for McKnight here in the last 2 minutes. I'd like to do that here if we can. Furphy wide open. Come on, you gotta hit that, Johnny. It's a warm-up jumper. You're literally here just to make our players, other players look better. Can't be robbing Ellis of an assist like that. No good. Nice rebound by Hardy. He's probably got up to 20 rebounds by now. Almost stolen instead. McKnight, finally, we hit the three. 100 points on the board, courtesy of Green Lights. McKnight. And then Terrence Shannon comes and answers right back. Setting up another McKnight three, but he didn't really run very hard. Pull up for Ellis, no good. I swear if this thing goes to triple overtime. Nice job by Thibault to get the rebound. How many straight minutes have these guys played at this point? Furphy, another chance. Oh my gosh, dude. I literally only put you on the team because you could shoot. You get two wide open corner threes and you can't hit either of them. Bro. Johnny Furphy's selling. I'm glad he's not actually on our team, so I don't have to cut him after this summer league. Oh my gosh, Albert Ellis. Oh my gosh, Albert Ellis. Anybody who was hesitant about trading up for a 6'2" point guard, I'd like to introduce you to this game right here in the final 2 minutes of all of these periods. That's why you take a man the caliber of Albert Ellis. Right there, straight A's, Albert Ellis. Got straight ice in his veins. It's either going to be McKnight or Ellis at the free throw line. It'll be McKnight. I think McKnight's free throw is higher. Well, I think they're both pretty good at free throws. First one's up and in for Green Lights. Lead remains at 3. I respect Boston's decision to go for the quick 2 there. Force the 2 free throws to both go in, but at this point, without any timeouts left, you gotta go for 3 at this time. If they miss this 3, it's likely GG's. And it's off. Hardy will go to the line as long as he doesn't go 0 for 2. Should pretty much wrap up this game in double OT. It's both. That's pretty much going to wrap this one up. Unless they can hit a very quick 3 here. And I mean a very quick. Nope, that's it. I'll give Albert Ellis a couple more additional free throws here, but I guess we'll watch him. Why not? Give our boys straight A's a couple of free throws. Can't tell if I like straight A or straight A's. or straight ace. Albert Ellis, the late hero in this one, in a double overtime victory for the Vancouver Blizzard. Just absolutely put the team on his back in the final minute of all 3 periods. The 3-pointer to tie in regulation, the 3-pointer to tie in first overtime, and the 3-pointer to take the lead for the final time in double overtime. Yeah, straight A Ellis ends up with 32, 7, and 15. He did take 34 shots in this game. Yeah, I realize that, but was 6 of 11 from beyond the arc. He just wasn't hitting in the mid-range this game. That's just the reality of it. Only took 2 free throws. McKnight with 11 free throws is really impressive for him. McKnight took 18 shots, and I mean, 7 of 18 is not a bad number at all. He also took 30 shots. These guys took 64 shots between them, but scored 77. Awesome. I think I couldn't have asked to end the stream on a better game than that. You know what I'm saying? So even though we still have, the tournament, we'll see how we do. We get eliminated in, what was it, the second round? So we won 1 tournament game against Memphis, lost against Chicago. Let's see what these Summer League statistics ended up being. We go by points here. McKnight averaged 33, 6, 2.5 over a steal a game. I think this might be his final Summer League. When you dominate Summer League like that, I don't think you're going to go back. 24 and 7 for Albert Ellis. 44% from the field, so he was better, I think, in the simulated games. 47% from deep. My goodness, on 6 attempts. Hardy averaged 10 and 12, 1.5 blocks. Only shot 43% from the field. Just under half of his shots were 3-pointers, though, so that makes some sense. It's still better than what Zeke Naji was shooting for us last year. Although, again, it was against Summer League competition. And everybody else's stats, good on them, but they're not on the team. So, that's going to wrap up the offseason. We're going to get ready. We're going to auto-generate the rookies. Much like I do every year, I'll probably add 1 or 2 players from other classes into this year's class. Kevin Durant is going to do a farewell tour, sure. I think the last thing we're going to do here for this stream is we're going to set up some mentors. Cool. So I think Interceptor will be good here. Get Saramago's steal count up. I think Dimer will be nice. Get his assist count up. We could do post lockdown. Well, we might already get that to silver next year. Versatile Visionary could work. Break Starter could work. I think Break Starter will help our 7 seconds or less, so I'm going to do that. Although Saramago might just kind of take a rebound and then take it himself. The other one would be Challenger, which will help him be a better defender. I think just because oftentimes Mago, when he gets a rebound, he's going to take it himself. I'm going to do Challenger instead. But if you guys would rather have me do Break Starter, I can do that. McKnight has... oh, he has Kelly Oubre. Let's do Posterizer. Let's do Interceptor. And let's do Challenger. And then let's do Albert Ellis, who will be mentored by Campaign. We'll be doing Shifty Shooter, which he has at gold. We'll be doing Mini Marksman. These are 2 badges I really, really wanted him to have. We could do Deadeye. He already has it, though. Could do Float Game. I wonder what Albert Ellis is. We didn't say him take a ton of floaters. I think only 1 or 2 in those 2 games. So it's either Set Shot Specialist or Float Game. I'll do float game for now. If I see him that he doesn't really take floaters very much throughout the year, I'll probably switch it to set shot specialist. But there you go. Now we've got our mentors all suited up for our 3 main young guys. We'll be kicking off the season against Philadelphia ahead of Saramago's second year, McKnight's second year. Let's take a look at Saramago here as we end off the stream. What a beautiful, beautiful player card we're looking at here. I'm excited for season 3. I think it has a lot of potential. I don't think we're going to be, a great team yet, but I think we'll definitely be a team that's in a lot more games, winning a lot more games. I'm excited to kick off season 3. I hope you are too. Thanks to everyone who came out and watched the stream. We were consistently in double-digit viewers throughout the stream. I really, really appreciate that. Special shout out to Exaggerated History, Johnny, and others who join me in chats. So it makes these live streams fun. Now, as for the timing for the next episode, I was supposed to do this stream tomorrow. That's kind of what I said on the off-season video yesterday, but something came up tomorrow to the point where I couldn't do it, so I moved it ahead to today. That being said, opening night was going to come out Friday, so now it's probably going to come out Thursday. If we're lucky, I might even be able to get it out tomorrow, but probably plan on Thursday for the episode that will have us kicking off season 3. I'm excited to see what Mago, Duran, McKnight, Ellis, and all our players can do. Unsure yet whether it'll be Max Christie or Josh Green starting, but you'll have to tune in to that episode to find out. But thanks once more for hopping into the stream, and we'll see you soon. Until then, bring